I get it, you're scrolling through endless all-in-one desktops that look sleek on the product page, only to find the screen glare too harsh for a video call, the speakers tinny, or the system crawling when you open a spreadsheet. That feeling of, I should have read more reviews first, is why I'm doing this deep dive before you click Add to Cart. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the Lenovo Flagship 24-inch Business Edition is marketed as a sleek, space-saving workstation for home offices and small business desks. The idea is simple: one tidy unit with a decent monitor, enough processing power for everyday tasks, and built-in connectivity so you don't have a tangle of cables. That promise sounds perfect if you're trying to clear a cramped desk, but the real test is how it behaves when you actually sit down and start working. I set this machine up in a typical home office corner, a desk that already had a lamp, a notepad, and a stack of paperwork. Out of the box, the all-in-one comes in a muted cloud gray finish with a stand that tilts a few degrees. The tilt is modest, so you'll still need to angle the monitor a bit to avoid reflections from a window. For most users this is fine, but if you have bright overhead lighting you might end up adding an anti-glare filter later. Boot-up time is the first thing most people notice, and with the 512GB PCIe NVMe SSD, the system is practically instant. I hit the power button, and Windows 11 was ready for a login in under 10 seconds. That speed translates into real-world productivity. Opening Microsoft Office apps, loading a web-based CRM, or pulling up a PDF report felt snappy, not sluggish. If you're the type who keeps dozens of browser tabs open while juggling emails, the SSD and the Intel i3-N305 processor, with 8 cores, keep things responsive enough that you won't be staring at a frozen screen. Now, let's talk about the display. The 24-inch FHD panel is decent for reading documents and video conferencing, but it's not a color-critical screen. If you're a graphic designer or video editor who needs wide gamut coverage, you'll notice the colors look a bit muted compared to a dedicated monitor. For most office work emails, spreadsheets, PowerPoint presentations, the 1080p resolution is clear and the built-in speakers are adequate for a quick call, though they lack bass. I found the HD webcam and mono microphone surprisingly clear for unknown Zoom meetings, but in a larger conference call, a single microphone picks up a bit of background noise. That's where a headset would still be a good add-in. Connectivity is where the Lenovo really leans into the business angle. Wi-Fi 6, 802.11ax, gave me a stable connection even when my router was a couple of rooms away, and Bluetooth 5.2 paired seamlessly with my wireless mouse and headphones without lag. There are several USB-A ports and a USB-C that supports data transfer, but note that the USB-C does not deliver power to a laptop, so you'll still need your charger if you want to use it as a docking station. The Ethernet port is missing, which could be a deal breaker for folks who prefer a wired connection for maximum reliability. One of the hidden trade-offs is thermal management. Because the chassis is thin, the cooling fan runs a bit louder when you push the CPU with heavy tasks like rendering a large Excel file with macros. In a quiet office, that fan hum can be noticeable. It's not a failure, just something to be aware of if you need a whisper-quiet environment for recording podcasts or streaming. Who should buy this? If you're a remote worker who needs a tidy desk, runs standard office software, and values quick startup times, the Lenovo Flagship 24-inch Business Edition hits the sweet spot. It's also a solid choice for small business owners who want a professional-looking device without the clutter of a tower and separate monitor. The built-in webcam, decent microphone, and Wi-Fi 6 make video calls smooth, and the SSD ensures you won't waste time waiting on file transfers. Who should skip it? If your day revolves around high-resolution photo editing, 3D modeling, or intensive gaming, you'll feel the limits of the FHD panel and the i3 processor quickly. Likewise, if you need a workstation that stays silent 24/7, the fan noise under load might be a distraction. Finally, if you rely on Ethernet for a rock-solid internet connection, you'll have to purchase a USB-C to Ethernet adapter, adding an extra cost and cable. The value proposition comes down to the combination of a clean, all-in-one form factor, fast storage, and modern wireless. The headline specs: 8 GB of DDR4 RAM, and a 512GB SSD are exactly what you need for everyday multitasking, and the price point is competitive compared to buying a separate monitor and mini PC. The only real downside is the modest display quality and the lack of a built-in Ethernet port, which could push you toward a slightly higher-priced model if those features are non-negotiable for you. In summary, the Lenovo Flagship 24-inch Business Edition delivers on its promise of a streamlined, ready-to-work